Hey, what's up everyone? So I'm just making this video to keep you updated on how I build my characters this mod. The reason why I didn't make detailed builds yet is because with Module20 we got extra pieces coming from Vault of Stars, which you can only get after 3 or 4 weeks of running the dungeon. And also we have broken companion gear, which allows you to build your toon in a completely different way. So like on my fighter I had power boots, not really power boots, but I had the power shirt, to be honest. And now I'm using the cooldown shirt, which I wouldn't advise, but since I have the broken companion gear, I moved all my crit, all my accuracy and combat advantage into power, so I could use more damage bonuses. And it's not worth to invest into broken companion gear, so don't bother getting it now. It's gonna get fixed in about 2 weeks when Sharandar Part 2 drops on console. So don't bother like completely revamping your toon just for a couple weeks. It's not even worth it. It's not like you're gonna do twice as much damage. It's just trying to min-maxing for now, you know. It's just the stuff I like to do. These are the powers that I'm using. I'm also switching to Commander Strike as I showed, and Enduring Vengeance when there's no TR or Barb tank in the group, because I need to have the physical vulnerability on the boss to increase, to have a 10% debuff on melee powers. Not melee, but physical anyway. These are the companions that I'm using. The reason why I'm using the Redeemed Fallen instead of the Face Spider is because I'm very close to the cap on crit. I was actually capped, and so I took it out, so now my crit is about 88%. That is perfect because I get the last 2% either from the Forger box or from the Pally Aura of Vengeance, I believe, the one that gives 2% crit. And so whenever I get that 2%, it's not wasted. And yeah, the stats are pretty good anyway. It's all above 83%. And that's it for my fighter build. You can ask me anything in the comments. I'll be happy to reply. And yeah, just know my setup for my DPS toons at the moment it's a bit different because of the broken companion gear. My tank is not using any of the broken companion gears, so this is my setup for now. The only things I updated from the last mod are probably the armor, which gives awareness, and the new set. The diamond set, it gives you extra 5% awareness, 5% damage mitigation. That is the same mitigation that the defense gives, but it does not add up to defense, so it's great. And 10% extra threat. This artifact set is basically made for trials, because in dungeons you rarely ever stay still. So if you're running dungeons more than trials, then I would say just stick with the master crafting set with the Lidstone neck and belt, and then you can use whatever as your artifact. Obviously the build works even if you're not using 3 journals. You can switch stuff around and use whatever as the main artifact. I usually go with Wyvern when I'm in groups, so yeah. So that extra 5% awareness from the set is really nice in trials. This is the setup that I'm using. Threatening Rush and Brazen Slash all the way. And for the encounters, it really depends on where I'm going. The initial setup that I'm showing you was for boss, and I use Iron Warrior and Anvil when I go into Zerial. Iron Warrior, to be honest, isn't even needed. You could just use Linebreaker Assault for extra aggro if needed. And when I go for Tom, I put Iron Warrior for solo tanking, and I switch it to Knight's Valor in phase 3 to take hypo with the healer. And that's it. One thing, combat balance, the feat that makes you take less damage, which says that you need to also have high deflection. Just don't bother getting your deflection as high as your crit avoidance and awareness, because it's still gonna be a good mitigation regardless of what your deflection is at. And deflection is not worth investing into, in my opinion. It's way better to invest into hit points, and hit points have no cap, so wherever you could put deflection, put hit points instead. And these are my companions for now, and bonuses. Yeah, so this is pretty much it. There are different ways you can cap stats on your tank anyway, so it's not that important as long as you know what to block and stuff like that. I can make videos about boss if anyone's interested, how to tank the first, second, third boss. And that's it for my tank. The empowered change scale is really nice to have on a tank. It took me like 3 hours to make one, so it's a good good way to use your time if you don't have one. And this is my Barb setup. This one has the broken companion gear as well. I'm Carbon crit sav before even stacking the rib cage, so that says something. And I'm gonna show you what my stats look like when I'm in combat. It's not really accurate at the dummies, I guess, because I can't proc this Sky Blazer since I'm attacking more enemies, but you see, just add up 7% to the combat advantage and you see pretty much what my stats are at. And that's it. If you have any questions about the equipment, let me know. It's just regular stuff. So Sky Blazer, ribcage, icy arms. I tried to balance out with the new Voss arms, but it wasn't really worth it. And yeah, using reach at speed on the offense. I'm probably gonna switch back to the Vault of Stars boots when the companion gear gets fixed. Besides that, I tried the new set on my Barb for trials. The Star Shard set, yeah, and it didn't really work out for me. I prefer Mad Mage set way better, or if you will, Music Box, but definitely not the new one. New one's definitely not outperforming those two. And alright. So yeah, those are basically the same gears that I had on my fighter. I just switched them around whenever I switched stims. There are some things that I changed on AoE. I'm gonna show you my AoE loadout real quick. The only thing that I didn't put on yet on my AoE was Music Box set or the new set. So whenever you go on an AoE situation, there are a few sets that are quite nice to have. It depends on your playstyle, really. I try to base my playstyle, to have my playstyle based on action points. I'm trying to get the elemental fire weapons, the ones that give you 25% of your daily back whenever you use your daily. And I'm using primal boots and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to spam my daily because it's really the only thing that lets you keep up with other classes of mobs in Voss. And even so, you still have an hard time keeping up with TRs, HRs, even warlocks sometimes. We are not in, like, it's not the best module for Barb DPS, but you can still use it. You can still top the board. Just you won't beat another class at the same skill level, let's say. And this is my OP healer. I've not been using it as much because I enjoy my DPS and my tank way more. I'm not been using it since the nerf in module, what was it, 18? No, 19 actually, I think. And yeah, so basically since the nerf to the shields happened with a rework and stuff, I just kind of dissed him. And yeah, I've been working on it to try to use it again. This is where my stats are at. I'm gonna switch to Azimar probably next mod. and there are like 2 rings that are gonna be really good for healers next mod. Obviously I'm using Frost for the debuff, not shit Holy Avenger, not shit Vorpal. If you want to help the group, Frost, Dread, Bronzewood, but that's usually on tanks, Plaguefire, any of those 4 could work. And if your group already has one of them, you can have the same one at a different rank and it will stack. This is my setup for trials, and you can put banishment on for mobs in boss. It's pretty nice. It stuns them for 6 seconds, but in a small area, in a small radius. You could put on Divine Touch if you were to solo heal and you need to heal both tanks in a Zariel, I guess. The class feature that I'm using, the Aura, is the one for the crit, not the one for incoming healing, because I'm always more about the damage rather than survivability, as long as I can survive, obviously. So I think that extra 2% crit is pretty nice on some classes. And you're also giving it to the other healer as well. I'm using the lion. You could have, you probably noticed the lion on my tank too. You could use either the lion or the spine devil, or if you don't own one of those, you could also go with the Hellmite Paladin Ghost or the dedicated squad for heals. Those are, I think, the best companions for supports, especially the spine devil and lion. Alright, so that was it for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So see you later with new builds in Sharandar Part 2. Bye bye!